Hi there, I'm Nessie and you're listening to a podcast of The Culture Cafe, originally broadcast on RTE 2XM on October 24th, 2012. This features an interview with Melanie C, and it was recorded on October 12th, 2012 when she was in Dublin promoting her new album Stages. Enjoy! Now, I met up with Melanie last week while she was in Dublin, and the first thing I wanted to ask her about was the amount of questions that she must have been asked thousands and thousands of times.
Absolutely. But it's funny, as a new project comes up, the questions, they differ slightly, and then you have those questions for a long, long time. But you know, it really depends on the interviewer. It depends how they're asked. Sometimes it can feel like you've never been asked those questions before.
So, are there times when you kind of go, oh no, not again?
There's certain questions that can really irk me, and especially because there's so much rubbish written on the internet. So if you're continually asked about things which aren't even true to begin with, that starts to get irritating.
I saw you in the Olympia in March.
Yes.
A couple of things I want to ask you about the gig.
Yeah.
How the hell do you walk in those heels around stage?
Oh my goodness, well I can't at the moment because I sprained my ankle the other day. I know, I kind of surprised myself with that one, but even though they didn't look it, those heels are incredibly comfortable, and yeah, you kind of get addicted to them because they make your legs look so good.
And you've been playing guitar on that?
I've been playing guitar, yeah. It's something I've promised myself I will do over the years. Never got round to it, and I thought, come on Melanie, it's time to get cracking. And yeah, I was just playing the verses in one of my songs called Burn, and I'm actually currently learning the chorus, so hopefully I'll be, you know, at some point playing a whole song.
One of the things as well that I noticed about the whole set was that some of the songs kind of melded in together and they worked really, really well.
Yeah.
How much when you get together with all the band and the musical director and everybody, how much input do you have? Is it like, are you really hands-on when it comes to that kind of thing?
Well, you know what we tend to do? My MD Greg, who's also my rhythm guitarist, and he's the guy I sing When You're Gone with, he's got a great voice as well. He is so creative, he's wonderful, and the band works so beautifully together. So the guys often will rehearse and they'll get all the songs, you know, sounding a certain way, and then I'll come in and then you know, then maybe I'll throw in some ideas as well. So it's, you know, it's a bit of team effort, but I have to give the band a lot of the credit because they're such incredible musicians, and it's been fun, especially on the Sea Tour, because we did experiment a bit more and put some other well-known songs in alongside mine, and it's great because, you know, when there's songs the audience know, they just lap it up. It's really good fun.
Your solo career seems to have been embraced more, I suppose, in mainland Europe. Does that bother you slightly that the UK and Ireland hasn't? Especially the first two albums, I think, were pretty well received here. Yeah. But the next couple were kind of like, it seemed to be more focused in Europe. Does that kind of bother you?
You know what does upset me sometimes is that, especially with my last album, you know, I feel it was a very strong record, and in the UK sometimes it's difficult to get airplay, and without airplay you really can't market a record, and I'm self-financed. I have my own label, so we don't have a huge marketing campaign, so I can't do TV marketing. I just can't afford to do that as a company, so we kind of lose out on that front. And you know, and I feel like I hear a lot of pop music on the radio which is not as good as the music that I'm making myself, so that is quite annoying.
Do you think there's still a bit of a stigma with some of the media that, oh, she's a Spice Girl?
Absolutely, and also my age as well. You know, I'm 38 now, and there's you know, we live in a culture where we want new things all the time, and it's always about the next big thing, which is wonderful. And you know, and I have to remember, I've had my time. You know, my time with the Spice Girls was amazing, and I was very lucky to be in the music industry when you sell loads of records. You know, we sell millions of records. You're lucky now, unless you're one of the huge acts, whether it be Coldplay, Rihanna, Beyonce, you know, who do sell millions of albums. But the kind of the middle man, it's so hard to sell records and to make a living, you know, to make a revenue, and the labels are just getting, you know, in more and more turmoil and buying each other and merging and everything. So I think it's really sad because it feels like it's an industry which is damaged and it's irreparable, and it will never be the same again.
You've been releasing music though for 16 years. It's hard to believe it's 16 years.
Yeah.
When you were starting out in the Spice Girls, did you think that you'd be doing that in 16 years?
I did. The great thing about youth is you don't really think too much about the future, do you? You're very much in the present. And we didn't even think about the end of the Spice Girls, it was all just about what we were doing at that particular time. But my intention, as it still is to continue to make music for the rest of my life.
You set up Red Girl Records. I was going to talk about Liverpool Football Club, but they're not doing too great.
They're not doing very well, are they?
No, it's a little bit depressing, but hey. As an independent artist now, do you value the control you have over your career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially as you see how deals are becoming with the 360 deals and just that. Even if you do have a major label behind you and a much bigger marketing spend that we would have, you don't necessarily sell that many more albums. It's just a really sad state of affairs. And I think I'm in a good position in that, I always had a good relationship. I was with Warner Music in Europe for a little while, and with the Spice Girls, my first 2 records, I was with Virgin EMI. And I was always kind of pretty much left to do what I wanted to do. But yeah, it's nice kind of just being the one who does make all the decisions and isn't swayed by other opinions.
Now, the current album, Stages.
Yes.
How did you choose which tracks to put on it? Because there's so many fantastic tracks.
Yeah, it was really good fun choosing, because there are so many songs that I've sang throughout my life. I've been singing since I was a kid, and whether it be just in school performances or at my dancing school, and then I went to college and I auditioned for shows. So I've learnt so many songs from shows. And I sat down with Peter Vitesi, who's produced this album, and I also collaborate and write with him. And we just made a massive list, and we just had a go. Sat around the piano and just tried them all out. Some of them sounded great, some of them sounded awful, and we just came up with the best of the bunch.
And it's a great time as well, because you're on the road with Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, I mean, that's what inspired me. Originally, I started the album when I finished in the West End in Blood Brothers. And then when the Superstar TV came about, and then I was offered the role of Mary Magdalene, I just thought, you know what, I need to get that album finished, because this is just too much of a good opportunity to get it out there.
Now, the TV show, did you do that or take part in that because you were going to be in Jesus Christ Superstar, or is that kind of the judging role something that you would have thought?
I was invited into ITV, and they asked me if I'd be interested, and I love Jesus Christ Superstar. I think it's a magnificent show. I think it's one of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice's best. Musically, it's not musical theatre, it's rock, it's soul, it's so much more than what you expect. Loved the show, and then because they were taking it into arenas, I just thought, I love that concept. It's really cool, and I felt, they wanted to speak to me because they felt like I had some experience in musical theatre and of course experience in arenas. So it felt right to me. I've been offered lots of different things over the years, but I wouldn't ever want to do something for the sake of it. It has to feel authentic for me, and this did. So I went along, started working on it, worked with Jason Donovan, which is brilliant. I adore him. We're best mates now forever. And then after working with Andrew, he offered me the role of Mary, which was the icing on the cake.
This year you just seem to always be working.
Yeah.
How do you balance everything?
I don't. I'm terrible.
You have a little girl now as well. So
it's been a really tough year to balance things, and especially the tour. Really, I've been away from her for longer than I've ever been away from her. But I get back whenever I can. I'm back on Sunday, so I can't wait. But I'm just looking forward to having some time off at Christmas and having some quality time with her.
Okay, final question, because I know people are wanting to get in here. 6 albums.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a greatest hits?
Yes, we are at some point. Yeah.
Are you going to put Independence Day on it?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Was that a great hit?
Was it better like Beckham?
Yeah, there'll be things. Yeah, there'll be things on it that weren't great hits, but they should have been. So there'll be a greatest hits at some point.
Brilliant stuff. Melanie C, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for listening. If you'd like to find out more about the Culture Cafe, you can go to my blog, which is nessymon.com, NESSYMON. Thanks for listening.